Hey, David. How's it going? Jason, we spoke earlier.
Okay.
So I guess you're having some...
Yeah, I get the webinar right now.
I'm sorry for
it. Webinar. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, there was a little bit of feedback, but that's much better. I apologize for the issues you were having logging in.
Okay.
I know you had said you only had about 30 minutes. Does that mean we only have about 15 minutes now? Do you need to be off by about 3:30? We can blitz through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can go up to 30 minutes still.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, listen. I know we talked earlier. So we were going to just jump into the accounting and finance modules, as well as take a quick look at the CRM like we talked about. I've got Rebecca Burrows, my operations manager. She'll run through the demo for you. But yeah, we encourage you to ask as many questions as you need. Keep in mind, when you see the software here, what you're seeing is the complete ERP system. So the software does a lot of things. Obviously, much of this, from what I understand, you don't really have an interest in seeing, but we'd be glad to show you any of the additional modules if you decide you'd like to take a closer look. We can deploy this as a web-based solution. We can also deploy it on-premise. It's totally up to you. The pricing is incredibly reasonable, so when the time comes to talk about that, we'll have a good discussion on that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Becca, and we'll get started. Becca, we'll try to keep it to about 30 minutes, and just questions answered.
Okay. Thanks, Jason. David, do you have a preference on whether I start on finance or CRM?
Yeah, let's go to finance part.
Okay.
Yeah, finance would be good.
Okay, then I'll start you real quick through finance, and then I'll move over to CRM for you. And as Jason said, if you've got any questions, feel free to interrupt me along the way. The way we usually do this is we do a nuts and bolts sort of demo for the first one, because it is a configurable system. And then from there, we take your scenarios and we configure it to meet your needs. That way you get something that actually looks and feels more like what your actual product is going to be. So for the finance system, it's going to allow you to do everything from setting up your general ledger, your chart of accounts. You can do the basic setup on the back end of what your journal entry sequences are, if you want those manual or automatic. And this is all basic setup we'll do for you, so you're not going to have to do anything under the admin section. We'll set up your cost and profit centers, your payment terms, opening balances. If you need data migrated, we'll take care of data migration for you too.
Okay.
Your finance people are going to have access to information on your customers, vendors, and employees. We can change the access level. So, for example, if you need somebody who can just read these files, for example, if they need to call a customer because they're late on a payment, but you don't want them to be able to edit anything in there, we can give read-only access to pages. We can block page access. I know that becomes very important when you get on the finance side. We also have the ability to add in any approval strings you need. So, for example, somebody's made a sales order or somebody's converting a lead to an account and you want a approval string set in there. So finance has got to do a credit check on them first before that can be done. That can also be set up in here too.
Okay.
You have full ability to import all your bank statements. So once you get those in, those can be directly reconciled and matched with the actual invoices and other data you have in the system.
Okay.
You'll be able to view all your journal entry information. If for some reason somebody made a journal entry but they didn't, or made a, for example, an invoice but they didn't do a journal entry for it, you'll be able to view which of your documents do not have the journal entries from, and then you'll be able to add those journal entries in. That way, if for any reason somebody doesn't follow a procedure or anything like that, you'll always have the ability to know what needs added, so you'll have a proper profit and loss sheet and balance sheet for you.
Okay.
Reconciliation tab is just an overview of all your sections of your documents and all your transactions. That way you're able to get a good view of it. So you have the full page view, you have your AP view, so which is your accounts payables, and then you have your accounts receivables. And then you can view a page of which one of those actually have the reconciliation already done. On the receivable side, you'll be able to view all your AR invoices. If you did some sort of integration, it could pull that directly from whatever you're currently using for your sales, or if you decide some later point to look into our sales module, it'll automatically move those over to this list for you. And then you could directly receive those payments through the system and add any credit memos or debit memos needed to them. Same thing on the payable side. If you ever move over to our production, or not production, but procurement module, those invoices will automatically be moved on to this section, but we can also integrate it with whatever you're using for your current purchasing at the moment too. And then you'll be able to directly pay those through the system. You can do that electronically. We have the ability to print the checks through there, but you have a lot of options through there. It'll keep track of all your fixed assets for you and what methods you're using to manage those, and there's a lot of different KPIs you can use. You can automatically have those items added to your fixed asset list with just a check mark from the inventory section. Also on the inventory section, you can view your price changes. It'll give you your price history, so you'll get a view of how your prices have changed over time. And you can also do inventory credits and debits through there. Full budget setup, we've had people do budgets down to one budget for one item to the overall budget for the whole company. So you can go as detailed as you need with that.
Okay.
We have a full payroll module. This can be done either through HRMS or the finance section, depending on what you're looking for. And we also have some people who continue using whatever they're currently using for finance too. So you have 3 different options there. And we can integrate with a lot of the current big payroll companies like ADP and a couple others. You'll be able to do all reimbursements. So it's a very detailed section for you. Then you have all of your reports. You have all the reports from everything from your customer balances to your balance sheet, your profit and loss, what your cash flows, your aging reports, what your fixed assets are doing. But as every module will come with a set of standard reports, it'll also come with a query designer, and this will give you the ability to build any custom reports. And this is a drag and drop interface, so you're not going to need to know how to code or anything for it. All you've got to do is drag what you want over into a grid, and then it'll directly make that for you. And then you also have a set of dashboards. And the dashboards is just one quick example of it, fully configurable. You can make these through that query designer. We have some predefined ones. You can change what layout it's in. You can make these views for yourself. You can make them for your management, so you can make them and share with other people. So that was an extremely quick run through of finance. Any questions for me on that?
Of course, you can set the user profiles, I guess, so only the people that are allowed to get into the modules will see those modules, correct?
Absolutely.
Like,
under administration.
accounts receivable department will just only see accounts receivable, and that user in the payable will only see the payable coming up. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes. We can do it down to a page level. We can do it down to a field level. We can make it read-only. We can completely block access to any of those. Yeah,
because that'll confuse them anyway, for one thing. They'll just confuse them. They don't need access, but also confuse when they. And this is not standalone. This is online, right? Log in. Is that correct?
Yes, you'll have to log in through the system, but we have 2 ways we do it. You can either do it through your own servers, so that would be the on-premise version, or we host it for you. And we do our hosting through Amazon and Rackspace. And then we have those servers located in New York, Seattle, and Dallas. So for any reason one location's down, we're still up in all the others, so you're not down.
Okay, choice, huh? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. So where's the reports? Let's see. Maybe dashboards maybe or something that day-to-day reports you might have. Example there.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you over the background noise. You're looking for a daily report on?
What kind of reports do you have that the boss could use on a day basis, you know? Is that, you study anything you want to, I guess, in the reports, right?
Well, each of our reports has a date range you'll be able to filter by. And then if there's a report that we don't have, you just let us know during the normal setup, and we'll build that report for you through our query designer. It's really easy. We just drag and drop the fields in, and you'll have full training on that too.
Can this be integrated such that Well, what was I going to say? Never mind. I just say, well, I guess you can't really set this up. I know that people are getting towards using their iPads, things like that, to sell stuff. We don't, but salespeople do that. I was wondering if they can log into the account somehow and see things. But you probably can't do that unless you have, unless you guys host it, right? Log in that way.
Well, it is a browser-based application.
Right.
So if you're hosting it on your own
Right.
servers, as long as your server is, it's a little difficult for me to explain. We would need my technical expert, my boss, to actually explain the exact details. But it is.
If you guys host it, we should do that, right?
Access it.
Is that correct? Log in?
You would definitely be able to do it from ours. You could still do it from yours, but there would be some technical setups you'd have to do on your end, too.
I got you.
Which would make it.
Okay. All right. Now, what was I going to say? How about the pricing over account receivable? We're doing like order entry of different types of customers. What kind of, what do they have for sales or order entry type of thing? Is there anything they have, different price levels you set up, all that stuff, I presume?
Yes, you'll be able to.
Different, like, we have different price levels for customers. Can they, do they have like different pricing systems for each inventory item, I presume? Maybe they're all like that now.
Absolutely.
Make sure.
So you'll be able to create as many price lists as you want, and then those price lists, so these are just some examples. You can have a bulk discount. You can have one for specific customer groups, specific discount groups. So let me head over to the CRM real quick, and I'll show you how that matches with the CRM. So CRM is where you're keeping those customer account information, and you can directly map a default price list to them. So every customer, if you wanted to go that detail, could have their own price list. I mean, most people will have a few basic ones, but as you can see here, you have your full price list. You can map it directly to them, and then anytime when the sales order is made or a quote's made, it's going to pull the pricing information from that specific price list for them. And then your finance people also have access to the customer account information, so if they need to view that information, that'll be accessible. You can have full ability to set up any hierarchies or customer segmentation you need. You can put in industry details, keep track of revenue ranges. You can also view their account history, how many orders they've done, how many of those are open, how many of those closed. You can view the details on each of those open histories. You can view the contact person details, their billing and shipping addresses. Set them up so what their payment terms are, if there's any Incoterms, what the preferred payment methods are, if they've got a credit limit, opening balance. So there's a lot of different details that can be added in here.
Okay.
Who the sales employee is in charge of them, any attachments. We have interfaces with Outlook and a few other email providers, so if you received an email from them, then you can directly attach it through that interface and it'll show up here. You can add in notes. It'll timestamp it, and it'll say who's the user who actually added that note. Same thing if somebody updates that note. So you have full visibility going through there.
Okay.
Other than that, the CRM also gives the ability to do mass mailing. So if you do any promotional emails or you do any mailing groups that you send out emails to, you can go ahead and set those up, set up templates, and send those out through the system. You can set up calling lists. You can set up your leads. You can view your leads by your individuals or by the company.
You can set up a monthly email.
I'm sorry?
Like you can do a monthly email?
Absolutely.
Oh. Okay.
You have your activities. These can be added directly through the lead or the account page, and these can be anything from a call to a meeting. You can set up reminders. You can also do them standalone through the activities page. You can add opportunities in, keep track of what stage those opportunities are in, who's working them. Contacts, you can view all your contacts, search for your contacts that way. You can add cases, so a case can be anything from somebody's requested a demo or somebody had an issue. And then you can have somebody go in and work on that case so you're getting full visibility into that. already mentioned the opportunities. You can go ahead and make those opportunities on this page or directly into the leader of the account. You can make your quotes directly from the CRM. Once the quotes are made, they can be, after they've been accepted, they're going to automatically convert over to the sales order for you, so you're not going to have to re-enter any of that data in there for you. So it's all about streamlining your process for you.
Okay.
If you do any campaigns or events, it'll let you keep track of those details. You'll be able to see which leads and accounts came in based on
I like the flow of this. I like the feel to it, the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's easy to get to. It's real logical. It looks like on this navigating around, which is very important.
Yes, there's 3 ways to navigate in here too. So you got your search base. So I want to view my leads. I start typing leads in here, and as you see, it's filtering based on what I type. And that's probably the way most of your users are going to use in the beginning. And then you got the bars here on the top, and then you see they replicate on the side. And then there was those big icons too when I was at that first page, and that's the 3rd way, which is mainly used for those users who's using something like an iPad or some sort of phone or something to access the application.
Okay. Go to order entry.
Mm-hmm. Order entry? Sure.
I want to see.
That's actually under the sales section. So CRM goes up to the quoting section. The quoting section can also be done from the sales section. You'll be able to, I'm just going to go ahead and open a quote here for real quick. I don't know which versions of the quote I have set up through this demo site, because we do have a couple versions of the quote, and that can be changed through the document design if there's a particular version that you want to go through. We have one that will pull your images from the CRM or from the inventory master, your item specs, that sort of information. And it's also going to let you send those quotes directly through the system. So when you click on Send Quote, it's going to take, in this case, Steve James's email from your customer master, and then it's going to send the quote directly to him. You can also have that quote pull information that you have for your general terms and conditions or special terms and conditions. We do have EDIs that we integrate with, and we do have our own EDI, so if you receive anything through EDIs, those can be received and sent directly through the system too.
Well, go ahead and, is it possible you can just do like an order, sample order? I want to see how you look up the items a little bit, because we do a lot of heavy order entry also. We have, you know, we maybe do 400 or 500 a day sales. And we go right to the invoice. We skip order entry a lot of times. We just go right to the invoicing.
Okay, so if you're adding a new order, you go ahead. We can have the sales order number directly auto-generate for you.
Right. Okay.
You can pull your customer information. As you see, it's going to make you a barcode. So if you do any,
you can pull up by name or by number, I presume.
You can pull it up by name or by number.
Okay, that's right.
If you have a customer, it'll go ahead and filter based on your customer information. So Riverbank and Trust, we don't have a contact person in with that one. If we did, it would have pulled the contact person for me too. So Thomas is my contact person here. You can put in the expected delivery date for here. This may change. You can set a default source. If this is coming in through EDI, it's automatically going to have a default EDI through here. And
that's nothing I have to ask the EDI. We're starting doing more EDI. Is that something that actually integrate with EDI, I assume, right? Can you
yes, we have our own EDI, and we do integrate with several EDI providers.
Okay. Who's some of the providers you use? I mean, here's one we have. I'll be honest with you. We have something called one of the ones, SBS Commerce. No?
I would have to look into that one. The only one that I know off the top of my head is Covalent.
Okay. All right. But you also can do it internally, right? If you get the other party in Jive, right?
Yes, we do have over 300 different types of EDI documents that can be imported through our own EDI into the system too. Okay, so you want to go ahead and have an item. So let me find one that I know has inventory.
You can type by name or type by item number?
Either way. I don't know which one was added for you.
You do a lookup by partial name of the item?
Yes, as long as you have any part of the name of the item, it will go ahead and pull that for you.
Show me an example of that one.
Like,
okay, Ajax then, okay.
Yes, I don't know if they added me any inventory in here. Okay, so they did add me some inventory in here, so I can directly see how much inventory in which warehouses I have in here. And if I have multiple warehouses, I can choose to change the default, because I can choose a default warehouse for any of my customers. And then
you select from the warehouse, huh?
Mm-hmm. You can select directly from the warehouse. Now, if there's any batch numbers or lots you want to, or serial numbers you can pull from, we can also set it up where you can choose those too. Once you do your delivery, it'll fill in your delivery information. You can put in your requested delivery date. So there's a lot of details you can go ahead and put in here. You can do your tax information. You can choose which tax you're using. You can
I have a question. Is that barcode, I'm sorry to interrupt, something comes to me, I want to do it before I forget, I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
On that barcode, is that something for the barcode for the actual particular invoice number?
Yes, that will be the actual. That one will be for the invoice number. If you want one on the item level, we do have barcodes in our item level too. So we can definitely add that in too. But this is directly going with our sales order number because we've had somebody request so they can print it out and then directly have that done.
Wow. And the barcode, how does that work then, barcoding? How would you use that again? I'm sorry, I've seen it before, I'm not totally familiar. How does the barcode work? You sort of scan it, you know. What's the barcode again before it comes in? You can, what is it again? You can pull things up by barcode too or something? Or
yes,
what's the advantage of having a barcode on the invoice?
In the situation we currently have set up is it's actually on the warehousing side. They want to go ahead and ship this information out, but they want to not have to type in or search for it. They just want to scan it in on their search section. So they scan it in, and then it pops up the details, and they'll be able to view the details.
Oh, for like picking ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Wow. Okay.
Okay, so you'll also be able to put in or automatically pull any billing or shipping addresses mapped to that customer. You'll be able to then go ahead and have a automatic journal entry done for your finance. If there's any payment terms that you set up for this customer, it's going to automatically pull those. For example, this one always pays immediately, so it'll automatically generate your due date if that is their terms. Control account will automatically be put in for you, so nobody's going to have to deal with that. If they've got a credit limit, it'll pull that information. You can set them up to pay in installments. If they're doing any special freight shipping instead of normal shipping, it'll pull that information. We've got APIs with FedEx, UPS, and USPS. So you'll be able to directly generate those through the system. You'll be able to track them through the system. And it'll keep track of some basic tax information, too.
This is a lot nicer than I thought. Manny Solis, I came with, I didn't know this software is this nice, actually. Look at the navigation.
Thank you.
I got Manny is right here at the stop. He's a supervisor for accounts receivable, showing the barcoding, and that's good for picking tickets, right? To get the people in the warehouse can pull up, and also so go back to the EDI for that order. That's pretty cool. That you can right there's the source, right? So we'll go right to the invoice.
Yes. And we've got over 300 different types of EDI documents in there. We can integrate with several different EDIs. We have our own EDI. After this page, I can show you the 300 different templates for it. So we've got your 850s, we got your 710s, whatever ones that you're looking for, we probably have.
Okay. Neat. All right, and then you get any questions?
And you can put as many different items as you want in here, and if you don't want to scroll across,
you can get the manager too does like accounts receivable and order sometimes. You can just look up by item number or by partial name for the actual item itself, right? Either one, right? Correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, I heard you telling you yes.
Yes, okay. All right.
And then all you've got to do is save the item, and then you can either do that directly from the invoice side, but in this case I made it from the sales order side. From here I can then just directly find the invoice or the item I want and then convert it either to delivery or to invoice. It'll create the invoice, but this one's already been created, so I can't create one here. New one.
You can convert it from an invoice to EDI, you're saying, right? You just said that, right?
Yes, you can convert it through each of the steps of the document. So if you need to do your ACN, or if you need to do your packing list, or you need to do bill of lading.
Now, let's say you did a whole order as an invoice. Can you go back into the invoice itself and convert it in? Or do you have to do it before you save it?
You can go back into your documents and view all of your other documents. So which documents are you asking for, the ACN or?
We want to have a hard copy of the invoice besides EDI. So we'll have that, right? We'll have the hard copy, plus we can convert it to EDI to upload it, right?
Absolutely. You will have your full invoice list, and you can export any of the documents from the pages. So you can pull any of those out through the system. And we can do that through Excel, PDF. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it.
As you click it,
yeah,
PDF, all the things they want to have, they don't want to pay for.
And then you can just open it, view it, change it.
All right.
So there's a lot of functionality to it. On the delivery side, you'll be able to do your pick and pack from there. You can view your list of document flows. So you can say this one was made in the sales order, and now it's on the invoice, and this is the invoice it was from. Same thing on your lots and batch numbers. You can follow them all the way through. I don't know if I have that up in this system.
Actually, software warehouse.
yeah.
But there's a lot you can do.
Inventory, do you have like an assembly type of? We have some products that are like assemblies, you know, we put together. A bill of materials.
Bill of materials?
A bill of materials, I guess you call it.
Okay, we have bill of materials over on the production side.
Okay.
You have assembly bill of materials, regular bill of materials, and it's literally just pulling your items from your item master for you. And let me actually open one that actually has some data in and instead of starting with a new one for you. I know this was not going to be quite as relevant because I thought I was only showing finance, so I didn't choose a specific one. But for example, here it'll say for this booth, I know it's not 100% as relevant. I'm using two foam pads to build it, one booth, three upholstery for it, and then you can have a base unit of measure for it, and you can add as many of these into the system. So this is a configurable option. We do have some basic ones in the system. It'll tell you which warehouse you're pulling it from, what method you're using to pull it, if you've got any distribution rules, what those are, what warehouse is going back into. And then you can also do your routing. So you can set up, it's going through this machine, these are the processes it's going through these machines. And then you can set up production method, which is combining the routing with the bill of materials for you. So you can have one of those for each of the machines it goes through. And then whenever somebody's actually being set up to work that machine, you can choose which of those they're going through and assign them to that machine.
Wow, this is fantastic. My boss, I love the feel for this. This is neat. I mean, I just think it's so easy. Some things are not user friendly, and I don't like the layout. I'm pleasantly surprised how the layout, everything is so simple.
So David, our company, for years, almost 20 years, we spent our time working on, kind of as a system integrator, working on, products like SAP and Oracle, and I don't know what your experience is with those products, but they're not the easiest products in the world to use. And
I like in life keep things simple.
Well,
it sounds
but
crazy.
that's the whole point. I mean, it's why do it the way these companies do it? Why not make it develop a product that does it the right way, that makes it easy, that not only makes the operational aspect easy, but it makes the transition very easy.
Yeah, the buttons are very logical.
Yeah.
And it's very powerful. It's like, to me, wow, it's really interesting. Yeah. And the materials.
And I know that we're about at your 30 minutes. I mean, we'd be glad to keep going, or we can circle back and set up another more detailed look. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, I was really, I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it'd be this nice. I just thought it'd just be another, complicated to use. I just don't sometimes.
No, it's really about as good as it gets. It's a mid-market type product. We have companies using it from 5 users on up to 5,000 users. So it's very diverse, can do a lot of things.
Do an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, just goes field by field. I mean, wow. It's so logical too. The tabs and the pictures, and I know it sounds crazy, but it makes it pretty funny. Why stress out trying to find out where things are, navigate around?
Right.
I like the way you don't get out of one screen, get somewhere else. I mean, that's the beauty of making things efficient. I mean, they got
the workflow is as good as it gets. It's really outstanding.
Yeah, I like the idea, like the EDI. Something as simple as that makes a big difference because they can set up as an EDI or go back in there and do it also. But I like things like barcoding. I think that's nice, and it ties right into the actual invoice number, which is nice too. I mean,
that's right.
It makes sense. And bill of materials, I like the way that's set up. I'm trying to think what else I see in there. Order management, transportation, finance, warehouse. Go to warehouse management. What's in the modules for warehouse management again? Click that one.
Warehouse management is going to keep track of your bin levels, so it'll take care of your warehouses. You'll assign what fast-moving inventory sections, slow-moving inventories, or whatever sections you have. Then you'll assign your rows and your bins. That way you're keeping track of where all your pallets are or where all your items are located. And that's going to be useful when you do your pick and pack through your inventory and your deliveries.
Besides going into detail, my boss gets back, is there some kind of video he can look at some of the things you're doing right now? Are you recording this? You're trying to record this, are you? Or do you have something like this?
I believe
Navigation is really nice.
We typically don't send out a video. I mean, we can.
Yeah, I understand.
What we could do, we could possibly, I could look into getting the okay to send you a recording of our session today, just so you can,
or
review it with them.
You don't have a video itself. You have of the navigating some of the features, do you? Oh.
No, because honestly, I'll just be frank with you. I mean, personal contact is our favorite form of business or doing business, so we like to do each demo kind of one for one, and just have that conversation. Everybody has different needs, so it's important for us with all of the functionality you're seeing here to be able to talk to you, have you ask questions, and say, yeah, look how easy this is, and then make it happen. So a lot of times we experimented with kind of doing videos, just for kind of all-inclusive type videos, and you find that people say, well, I didn't like the way it does this, and when we're not on the call, we can't say, well, we can do it your way. It's just in the video we showed it that way, that sort of thing. So
you can actually make you can adjustment. I guess you can make it. You can change it to modify it to the way you person wants it.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
So I'd be glad. Let me talk to my boss and I'll get the okay to send you the recording of the session. But it's very easy for us to throw a quick demo together for you. So I mean, if you wanted your boss to see it and just do he could ask his questions as well. We'd be glad to set up another quick 30-minute call. As you can see, it was pretty easy for us to get through. It wasn't a difficult process. We'd be glad to do a follow-up with you as well.
Okay. Go to CRM now. You got to explain the CRM now. I give me you did it real fast. That's the reason. But also here.
Sure. We hit on a few of the details in it. That's where we were talking about where you could do your mass mailings, where you keep track of all your activities, your calling lists, your leads. Is where I showed you the customer account. But other things you can do, you can view all your contact information, for all your contacts. You can set up your cases. If you do any quotations through your CRM side, you can do your quotations. Those will automatically move over to your sales side for you. If you do any promotions or campaigns or even events, it'll keep track of those. You'll be able to view which leads and accounts come in based on those, so you'll get your ROI on that and decide if this is something that you want to continue doing or if it's not worth it. So you get a little look into that for you. You'll be able to set up your territories. There's a lot of ways to do your territories. You can do it by item. You can do it by location. You can do it a combination of the two. You'll also be able to do all your forecasting through here, whether it be sales, marketing, or production forecasting. And on that, you don't have to fill in all the details all the time. We can set up a template for each of those. So if there's a specific one, sorry, my other one's timed out on me. So if there's a specific one where you use all the time, you can just have a template set up for that. That way you're not going to have to go and do that every single time. If you do any service requests, you can go in and have your service request come in, but you're doing manufacturing, right? You don't do any services?
Oh, we have some repairs we do, right?
Okay, so somebody brings in an item for repair, you can keep track of that serial number, the past repairs that's been done for it, who's being assigned to it, what materials are being used in it. That can be then converted over to your invoicing. And that way you can go ahead and get full visibility onto that. Salesforce side, it's going to let you put in some information about who your employees are. That way you can directly assign those to those service requests and assign them to those leads and accounts. Now on the visibility here, we can give them limited visibility. We've had a lot of companies who's requested that their salespeople only be able to see their own leads and their own accounts, and the managers of those be able to see the managers' leads and accounts plus all the people underneath them. So we can set up the authorization there on whatever way you want it to view.
Wow, okay.
If you have any hierarchies you need to set up for your customers, that can be set up. Any pricing strategies can be set up through here. Sales areas, sales channels, we can set up where your sales offices are. So there's a lot of things that we can set up for you.
Oh, I can modify some things or whatever. Okay.
Absolutely. So any more questions about CRM?
No, not really. I guess you can also cross-reference things. I know I read a little bit about CRM. I'm not real familiar with CRM per se, but things like I want to do a mail email subscriber, for instance, based on territory, based on type of customer. You can set it up any way you want to, right? And bring up the list of customers that pertains to that might, that would be more beneficial instead of just, blasting out an email, just certain customers by, like I said, territory by or type or something. Is that correct?
We can definitely filter them and then add them to a specific mailing list for you. And then you'll have that mailing list that you can then add to as it expands.
What do you mean by we? We can set up two, right? I mean, is that part of the feature or no?
We train you on how to do everything in the system. So whenever you go live in the system, you'll be able to make your customer reports. You'll be able to change anything in admin. But changing anything in admin, since that's a super user section, only your super users are going to have access to that. So you're not going to be given Joe, who's working in Florida doing sales, access to go in and change what your
whoever's got access, right? Okay.
So you will have the ability to assign access levels to people. So, and they can be different levels per person. And you can set up roles and do it based on roles, or you can do it based on the individual itself. But yeah, you'll definitely have the ability to do that, and you'll be fully trained on that.
Okay. All right.
The reason why is because we tend to do the basic setup for you. So we take care of all of your ones that you know about whenever you want to go live. That way you don't have to go in and do it. You can just go live. And then we train you for any future ones you want added.
Oh, okay. Great. Oh, wow. Let's see. Okay. Now the costing for the, if they place an order of the items and we're certain pricing, can they see, people see that if we're making money off of it, each item, for instance? So you can tell me there, does that pop up sort of, or no? If you,
that would be a
order, I just wonder if it, anywhere to see the cost of the actual product, maybe the FIFO, LIFO, or average cost, for instance.
Yes, we definitely have that. That would be a report that you can run. That would be on the inventory side.
Inventory
so
side.
That's something for you to actually be able to see there. We also have people who need landed costs.
And what?
The system. landed cost. So let's say you are going ahead and ordering something that you're using for production, but it's coming from China or somewhere else.
Right.
So on top of the additional cost of your normally getting it in, you now got to pay your customs costs, your freight shop costs, you may have port handlings, and all of that is, since it's a large shipment, needs to then be apportioned to the cost of the item. That way you get the full, real overall cost of that item.
Oh, okay. And that's under production, you're saying? Awesome.
It can be used for production because you're doing it that way. It can be, generally when we put that in, is you're doing your goods receipt. So you're getting your item,
right,
and that way you're getting your visibility and cost on that. Now, when you're doing your production order, it's going to give you the cost of, okay, it's taking so long to make this item. This is the average cost of making that item for just the labor. This is the average cost of making it for the machine. So you'll have a average cost of the item for the actual production side too.
Oh, I see. You apply the cost accounting type of thing to it, I guess. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and look at it. Wow, that's about it. So you see how you can see that. Show me that. Can you show me something like that for a particular item, maybe that might have an example, or no? That might have the direct.
I don't think I have that figured at the
materials.
moment. I mean, I'll show you where it would be on the actual production side, where you can see. Okay.
Oh, the production side would be the inventory. Be the production side. Yeah.
Well, for an item that you're making, it would definitely be on the production side because you're mapping in your processes there. It's going to tell you your cost of your process. It's going to tell you the time to make that process. And then you'll be able to add that price in to the item. Because in the item master, we already have the average price.
Okay.
In there. So let me find production here real quick. So whenever you're setting up your machines, you'll have costs for your machines, but you also have some costs that can be put in with your routing information. And you're going to have your base cost where it's going to say, okay, it's costing so much for this item. So this is the process cost for this item. This is what your scrap is, and you get your percentage of your yield. And then you can also put in how much time is spent on this. Right. That way you have your process cost. And then on the bill of materials side, it's giving you the base cost of getting that item in before you're adding in the process cost. And then your production method is going to combine the two together for you. That way you'll have that cost whenever you actually do your purchasing or your production order through there.
Okay.
But on the inventory side, it just has your base average cost there in the actual item itself.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, yeah. It pulls it into the inventory when you, okay.
Yes.
Production now. You make that. Okay, great. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then you can then, when you're making your price list, it's going to pull that base price, and then you can change the percentage of that or add so much to each of those items when you're making that price list. So you're pretty much putting in your profit percentage at that point when you're making those price lists.
You can do it off the actual percentage of the.
Mm-hmm. So you can either add a set percent to each item. You can do an overall percentage on all items on that list at the same time, or you may have a group of items that you just want to add another $10 to. So you can do an absolute value add to it.
All right. I'd like to really have a. Well, I'm not going to get your policy, but I'd like to really have a recording of this because I want to show my boss when he gets back. I don't think he's ever seen this type of software. We have an antiquated software. I've been begging him to. I don't think he understands how powerful it really is. He just sees after the fact accounting software, which is not showing the actual the costing and the marketing aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And saving time, for instance, pulling orders and all kinds of things that we need a better system for. So,
and having all the modules in the same system means you're not logging in and out of different modules, and you can just convert from one section to another, and they'll talk to each other. So it makes it a lot easier to have one system.
either the owners or more salespeople, and see, here's the picture of the after the fact accounting, and here's the sales. He's not seeing all the tools you have in the system, the CRM, and throughout the whole process, and little things like make a big difference, and time savers. Wow. Yeah. So, what part do you like of CRM? You find, or companies, you find companies are using quite a bit, or really got feedback from?
They really seem to like under the account section where you can view all of your open sales orders with them, that you can view your past sales orders with them, what their credit balances are. That section is one of the most popular ones with the CRM. Everybody also likes the mass mailing section, so that's the big one there too. And then you can add reminders. You can also add in alerts. So whenever a new lead, for example, is being added, you can add that sort of alert. Or on the inventory side, when your inventory falls below a certain percentage, you can also add that sort of alert to you. So there's a lot of different alerts you can also add in the system. But this is the page that I was talking about on the actual account section. So how much money they've made for you, how many orders they've made, how many of those are open, how many of those have already closed, revenue volume, and then the list of
What are you showing right now? This particular account, for instance? So where's the account name of this? Oh, it's the very top company. Okay, CMPM or whatever name. Okay. I see it.
Okay, so this is San Diego friction for you, and we have it divided up by a tab section, so you can just switch over to see.
Okay. Contact.
And who your contact is, their billing and shipping addresses. So it gives you a lot of information in here.
And you can add as many as you want to shipping address, right? I guess we have some big customers that may have, I don't know, 300 or 400 ship-to addresses we partner with. So that's not a problem, right? Where's the name for the ship address? Do they have a name for the place or no?
We definitely can add that filled in. This is just our basic format here.
Okay.
So
yeah, I just want to fill it.
You got multiple. That definitely is. If there's a field that we don't have that you need, we have the ability to have custom or user-defined fields. So there's a lot of functionality in the system.
That's something you'd have to do on your end, or something I can add when I would.
That'll be something to add. It'll be under our developer tools here. You make a user-defined table, and from there it makes the user-defined field for you.
Oh, I can do it myself. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I can do it myself, though. You're saying? Add that field, or something you have to request from an IT person, or from you, or something, or is it what you're saying?
If you are one of the super users, you'll be trained on how to add custom tables or user-defined tables, and that will allow you to use your user-defined fields.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So it'll depend on what access you're getting to the system. If you're going to be the super user, then yes, you'll be able to train and do that. But if you're going to be maybe just doing the accounting section where you're paying the bills, you're probably not going to be trained on that. So there'll be different levels of training depending on what role you're playing with the company.
All right. Okay. Is it pretty awesome, dumb questions. Is it pretty easy to back up? Do a daily backup scheduled or something in the system?
Yes, you can definitely do backups on it.
Pretty easy. Okay. All right. I'm just wondering. Should order up there.
And we have full exportability to every single field, so you can import and export to every single field. So if you get a huge amount of leads or even contact information that somebody's had sitting around and they just found, you can just add that in through the import functionality. You're not going to have to go in and add that in one at a time.
Or you can import into a lead, have all the information as a new customer. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you can import it. You don't have to set up again as a customer. You can just import it into the customer database as account. Is that correct?
You can import into any of the fields and any of the pages through the whole system.
Okay. So I'm saying I have like 10 leads, and 8 of them want to be customers. I can, without typing it again, I can just import it as a customer.
You can definitely import that. Now, if you had them as a lead, you can directly convert them from the lead to the account.
The account, right? Okay. All right. Cool.
That goes back to our process flow where if you have the previous step, you can convert it to the next step.
One last question, if you want to go to preview too, is now we do have we have a unique situation where we have a showroom, so we do retail. We do wholesale. Do you have something like a retail point of sale or something you can do?
So we do have a point of sale.
You do have. Right now, we're still just doing the computer anyway. I guess that's sort of antiquated, but can you do it as a point of sale barcode type of thing too? Or
Absolutely. No? We have point of sale portal.
We do. Okay.
And then you'll be able to directly log in, and then you'll be able to scan those barcodes in. I don't know if I have a login for this. Let me make one.
Oh, okay. And while you do that, one last question.
Start your transaction, and then you'll be able to directly go ahead and move on to your actual scanning in. So you can scan in the barcode, you can search by the item.
Okay.
It'll automatically pull the store information.
Okay, a barcode, okay, transaction, okay.
If you've got a serial or batch number you want to pull from, you can do that. You can do discounts and taxes at the line level. Once you do that, it's going to automatically add to your second blank line so you can keep scanning. From there, you can then finish and pay and choose what payment type you want. I haven't selected an item, so it won't let me do that yet. But
cool.
And if there's a barcode associated, whether you're searching this way or you're scanning in the barcode, it's going to pull your barcode information for you.
Wow.
And then choose what method you're going to.
Stop right there. I'll show you menu is part two. This is pretty cool too. I'll show you this how easy the barcode is. You know, thanks for holding. It's so hard to use. It's actually simple. You can make point of sale. It's not to make it hard. This is so easy at point of sale. People are right. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Go back to that part showing the barcode, the item. Or you keep punch. You know, in case you want to keep punching it in, do a partial. It brings it up, and also brings barcode up. If you want to do a barcode. Yeah. I like that.
And if you had the barcode scanned in, it'll pull that information based on the barcode. I don't know if I have any barcode in here, but let me plug in my scanner and see if I have a barcode sitting around, so I can show you that too.
Point of sale. You have to log in. In fact, there's a separate. You can do order entries, right? You can do order entries, and then you can also show them. Man, I love the system way it's set up. You can go to enter point of sale portal, right? Right in it is a block. Point of sale goes right in, and goes right into this part, another part of it. Still part of invoices, but you don't have to be like you can keep our invoices here, and they went up front, and we're out. The showroom can do the point of sale part, so they don't have to pull up the invoicing. They just do the point of sale only.
It goes through
Right.
here, right?
But you can still do the invoices like we always do. You don't have to use point of sale. That's the part I like about it. You don't have to use point of sale. You can keep punch the invoices, or the ones up front can do point of sale, which is nice. So you still do both.
That's good.
Oh, that's fantastic. They can do costing. You have to see if they're making money for a transaction.
That's very important.
The inventory part.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's about it, I guess. I saw quite a bit. And we can actually do email type things like monthly schedule, maybe, for instance, and attached template, things like that, flyers. Is that right? I'm trying to think a lot what my boss would be interested in. You can do things like that too, right?
Absolutely.
How does that run now? Is that something you run at nighttime or something? Or is that something another outside service you use? Some kind of email contact service or something, or what?
We have our own email through the system, and then you'll be able to send whenever. You can schedule those to be sent at a set time, or you can just go ahead and send them whenever you have them available right then and there. So it really depends on what setup you want to set up for you. It goes back to how configurable the system is.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay. don't want to waste any more time. I think quite a bit on this. Yeah. That's right, I guess.
Dave, we could easily just set up a second call.
Yeah, but I still like to.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I like to have a recording of that so I can sort of glance at this, intrigue them a little bit. If you can't do everything, maybe some of the highlights or I don't know.
Sure, I'll try to pull the recording and send it over to you. And then what I'll do is I'll follow up first part of the week just to see about scheduling another call with any other folks you want to get involved, and we'll just sort of go from there.
Another boss I have is coming in from town. Be back like Monday or Tuesday this week, so.
Okay.
But I like the.
Well, I'll have the recording to you well before that, so that you can have time to play around and kind of come up with some more questions, and we can get that next demo set up, and we'll talk pricing when that time comes, and we'll go from there.
All right. Why don't you email it to me, I guess, and the recording.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely. We appreciate your time.
All right. And you have pricing for like 5 users, 10 users, 15 users, 20 users, etc.
It's straight up pricing regardless. So yeah. How many end users would you guys require?
15.
Or
about 15 and 20. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's $10 per user per module per month. Then we have a basic setup fee per module. It's only $500. We would need to look to see if there's going to be any additional sort of integration cost. But I can tell you, it's for all that you're getting, you're going to be shocked at the price tag that comes on it.
Okay. All right. How many modules are there? Like 10 of them or something? Like sales, purchase, sales, payables, and what are you saying? How many modules are there?
10. Excuse me.
10? 20?
10.
About 10? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Well, yeah. Well, thank you for all your time. Send me an email about this.
Absolutely.
And go from there.
Yeah, you'll get an email from me today, David, and we'll look forward to talking again for sure.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great weekend. We'll look forward to talking.
You got my email, david@namcomfg.com, right?
Yes, I've got it.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.